Buongiorno and welcome to Lisa's Italian Kitchen. Well, it's fall, and what do we love in fall? Our beautiful apples. Today I have 4 scrumptious Honeycrisp apples, which I'm going to bake for you in puff pastry. This recipe was taught to me by one of my favorite cousins when we were both 14 years old. She learned it somewhere and shared it with me, and it's become a family staple. My children love them too. It's kind of just a kick up of the regular baked apple. So instead of a plain baked apple, you have a baked apple in puff pastry. So let's start with how we're going to dress up your apple. So the first thing we're going to do is core the apple. Now, I don't peel the apple because I really love the skin. It's like a baked apple. When you put it in the oven, you leave the skin on. And also all the nutrients are in the skin of the apple. So I leave the apple skin on. If you prefer to skin it, that's fine too, or peel it. So I have a couple cores here that I use. Maybe you have a core that you prefer. Whatever works for you, this is what we're going to do. Put the core down in the apple and twist. This is what I do. But again, you may have a different way of doing this. See, and then we're taking, look at that. The whole core of the apple comes out. And it's so perfect because then we're going to fill the inside of each apple with this delicious concoction that I've made of light brown sugar, cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg. It's really good. Sometimes some people like to do the pumpkin pie mix, spice mix in with the brown sugar, whatever you like. I like it very heavy on the cinnamon. So that's, oops, it's fall. I wonder if that's good luck, like a ladybug. But a leaf in the fall just fell into my brown sugar. Don't worry, I took it out. Okay, so there's one. Now we're going to do all 4. And you know, these are so great. If you're having Sunday dinner for your family, you can just make these Sunday morning. They're so easy because I'm sure you all know how very easy it is to work with puff pastry. It thaws quickly, rolls out so easily. Sometimes core just gets stuck there. So I just kind of push it out with another one. There we go. No worries. And there's our second one. If you want to make the hole a little bigger to get more brown sugar in there, more power to you. I see you. Okay, there's another one. And you can make as many of these as you'd like. We're going to bake them in the oven afterwards till the puff pastry gets nice and golden. Really yummy and super simple. I think my apple core, this one in particular that I love, is my favorite. I think it's about 40 years old. So I need to be gentle with it. And there we go. Works great every time. So now we have our 4 beautifully cored apples. And we're just going to take our mixture, place them on the puff pastry, and put our cinnamon and sugar mixture in them. So now we've cored our apples. And now what I'm going to do is I have 2 sheets of puff pastry here. And it's just a little bit of flour in the corner of my wooden cutting board that I'm using to roll it out. I'm just going to roll the puff pastry out a little bit. You really don't have to do anything with puff pastry. That's the beauty of it. But I like to roll it together so that the seams are nice and connected and don't separate when I'm cooking them. And then I'm going to cut 4 squares from this. We're going to fold it, put butter inside and butter on top. So let's start with this one. There we go, it's not sticking. So I'm going to take 1 apple and put it right there. And then cut this in half, just like so. Some people like sometimes I make them so that the whole apple is covered. Sometimes I leave some of the apple out. Now we're going to fill the whole of the apple that we cored with this delicious brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, all the fall spices. right in there. And then I like to cut a little piece of butter. And put this a small slice of butter right on top. And now we're just going to very delicately fold the puff pastry over it, whatever direction or shape you want. This is just going to get, we will be brushing this with melted butter. So it's going to get nice and golden. Look at that. So you have your little apple in a package. Isn't that adorable? So now let's just decorate it a little bit. We're going to take some, I'm going to get my baking sheet. So here I have my baking sheet with my Silpat so they don't stick. And I'm going to put it on my Silpat, and I have some melted butter. Just going to brush it with a little bit of melted butter. And then, of course, I like to brush it all over with melted butter so that it gets nice and golden everywhere. So, of course, the best part about this is now we're going to take some of the sugar mixture and just sprinkle it on top of the apple. Look at that. And it's going to come out. You can add just plain cinnamon too if you're really a cinnamon lover. So good. So let's repeat that 3 more times with the other apples. Then we're going to bake them and have a wonderful, delicious fall dessert. You can serve these apples in puff pastry with a scoop of vanilla gelato or a little bit of whipping cream, whatever you'd like. Just plain, they're scrumptious too. Here we go with our next one. Look at that. An apple in a package. Delish.